What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Garage, brought to you live by me, your host, me. Uh, so, get this out of the way real quick. Talk about what's going on. So at the time of this recording, it's been a few weeks since I posted a video. I've been having some health issues, trying to get myself together. Hopefully we're on an upward trend to that. I'm still a little rough, but I can get back out here and get doing stuff again. So that's what I've been trying to do, is get out here and get set up. Plans have changed. I originally wanted to get this thing up, running, going, get the motor back in. That's still happening, but I have to divert off of it after that. So what's going on is I wanted to get the Camaro running and on the road, and there wasn't that much left, so I thought no big deal. Until I ran into the problem that my threads in the crank snout are not too hot. So what I'm going to do is, the motor for this is ready. The only thing I gotta get for it is a steel plug for the side of the dipstick I'm not using. So that's no big deal there. I'll get that going, put that in. I'm gonna start today. I don't know how long I'm gonna have to work out here. I have to help the neighbor with some stuff, but whatever I do into tomorrow, I'm gonna get everything in this engine bay prepped so that this weekend that motor can go in to free up my stand, because my second stand's at my dad's house right now. So it doesn't do me much good there as far as having multiple motors on stands. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get that in this weekend. Get the Camaro motor out on the stand so I can put an insert in the snout and get the crank balancer on. Once I get that back in, it's all hands on deck with that. I want to have it running by the end of the month. I want to have it road ready by the end of the month. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of work. Not a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of work crammed into a little bit of time. So get the motor out, get the snout fixed, get the motor back in, get everything buttoned up, get the distributor back in, all that good stuff. The biggest thing is going to be modifying the exhaust, but I'll get into all that when we get to that. That's not what this video is about. So yeah, I guess right now I'll just do a quick walkthrough on what's about to go on and then get after it. All right, so the plan here is, before I get the motor dropped in, I want to address the couple small things that are going to be hard to address while the motor's in. Not the big hole in the back wall, but basically the only thing I'm worried about getting before the motor goes in, I want to get, that is not the right nut. That is just, it's hard to tell, but that's just barely holding that pitman arm on, just enough to steer it. So I want to get that off. I want to get the right nut on that, cotter pin, all that stuff, and I want to get these hoses off of this gearbox. I gotta get these off to get those. I'm gonna have to replace those. So those are my two big things. And I think, yep, it looks like I got the steering linkage locked down, so we're good there. So that's it. I'm just going to get those done. I was going to touch up the paint on the cradle, but I don't have time for that. So I'll wipe it all down, get those done, and we'll get the motor in. I think that's it for in here right now. There's a lot to do. Wiring over there is a mess. Wiring here. Oh, hey, found a wrench. Yeah, I think that's it. I still got to do brake lines. All right, so where you're currently at, you're not gonna really be able to see what I'm doing here. So do a little talking while I'm doing it. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to take the inner tie rod castle nut off because I believe it's the same size as the pitman arm nut, and if it is, I can take it to go match it up so I know what size to get. But that's not really what I'm going to talk about while I do this. So I made a video a while back about this car, and it was more of a rant, so I never really released it because I just got the pissing and moaning basically. So I'm going to touch on a little bit that with this car, the history of how I got this car. So I bought a boat off of a buddy of mine. You know, everybody wants a boat. Till you got one, and you got to maintain it, store it in the winter, all that stuff. So needless to say, I got sick of the boat. So my buddy says, and it needed work. It needed a new water pump and little odds and ends. Overall, it was a good boat. But my buddy tells me, he said, hey, he said, things are going on at home. I'm thinking about getting a scrap truck to come out and take the Monte Carlo out. Get rid of the Monte Carlo if you know anybody wants to buy it. So I'm like, well, I don't have any money to buy it, but I'll trade you a boat. What do you think about that? And so he said, okay, I'll take the boat. So he agrees to it. I had not seen this car in over a year when I made that deal. This was a complete car, minus the T-top that's missing. This was a complete car the last time I saw it. Some stuff was taken off, but everything was there. So he was like, oh, you know, I took a few pieces off, whatever. I scrapped some stuff, so I'm like, all right, no big deal. There's nothing I can't do that you would have, you know, torn apart. I can't fix. Which is true. However, fixing and not having parts are two different things. So anyways, I get over there to pick up the car, digging through his garage for parts. Find barely anything. Come to find out, my buddy's not a rich man by any means. And he went into this thinking, he said, oh, I'm just going to buy new. I'm just going to buy new. Now, this is what I have to say about that, and this is my advice for anybody, you know, into what we call hot rodding and resto mods and getting anything classic, anything older going. Do not get rid of anything until you have a replacement for it. I mean, seriously, that's the biggest thing I can recommend is just do not get rid of anything until you have a replacement for it, because seats are gone, center console's gone, steering gearbox is gone, and this is the SS. It's got this. It had the Saginaw. Was it G40? I don't remember which one it was, but they're going for like $170 used. Like, it was a rare one that they did in these. So, what else? I mean, the fan shroud's gone, or the heater core box shroud is gone. Like, half this car is gone. So these go for like $150 used, these gearboxes. The seats in the center console, in beat up condition, worse than what he has, are going for $600-700 right now, in worse condition than what he had. The doors, he ripped the doors off. The doors were gone, so I had to go get junkyard doors that I have to fix and patch anyways. Yeah, so it's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't scrap classic car parts. Unless they're completely rotted out and completely unusable, don't do it. The seats weren't that bad. I would have personally just had them reupholstered, paid a couple $100, had them redone. But I mean, a lot of this stuff, he basically The heads, he took the heads off the motor. The heads were gone. I mean, the heads aren't that big of a deal. He had those power packs, but they were seized up. Like, I don't know. So I'm going to stick with what I'm saying. My advice is do not get rid of anything on a classic car until you have a replacement. Somebody out there is going to need what you have. So even if you don't decide you're not going to use it, don't throw it out. Do not throw it out. Somebody needs it. Somebody will buy it. Even if you got to give it away cheap. Just so somebody has it. Help the community out. Do things. We got to help each other out. We got to look out for each other. And unless you got the money to back it up, don't go into this thinking you're going to buy brand new everything. One, half these parts aren't even made anymore. Two, it's just not logical. It's really just not logical. If they are made, chances are they're going to be a lot of money. So, but I digress. That's all I really want to get into about that. I just want everybody to be aware. Do what we got to do to help each other out and keep this hobby going. Need more people doing it. Seems like less and less people are doing it. All right, I'm just rambling at this point. So that castle nut did not fit. So now we're gonna go to the idler arm and hope the idler arm fits. Hopefully. The castle nut was really loose on that side. This, in theory, should be the other side of the linkage. It should be the same size. And if it is, that would make my life easy. Oh no. Well, I think this is definitely the right size, but first thread's a little janky. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this on. I might have to run a die over that. Really rather not get a new center link, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Oh yeah, I feel like there's a little lip on it. Okay, this. All right, so change of plans. The center link's probably about to come out. All right, I lied. The center link's definitely coming out. So I'm gonna take these off. Take these off and then right wrench. Take these off. Get the center link off. Center link on these is pretty easy. 2 tie rod castle nuts and idler and pitman arm castle nuts. So I'll go real quick, but all right, I'm gonna keep at it and I'll be back in a minute. All right, so got the center link off. So for those of you that don't know, it's held here through 2 inner tie rods. Easiest, best, right way to do it is with a pickle fork. I actually used a pickle fork on the end of my air hammer. It's a lot easier for me. What I'll do is I'll shove the pickle fork in on the gun, let it go, and then tap with a dead blow or a hammer on the front a few times. If you use a metal hammer, make sure you got the nut on and you're not smacking it too hard. This definitely needs, these boots are, actually these look like, well, these are just foam. These are just foam pads, so I'll put some new pads on here, but definitely got to get that end right there cleaned up. It was a bit of a mess. So I'm gonna get after it. People, new day. Got sidetracked the other day, got into some stuff. Was gonna take this video a little farther, but I ended up rambling on last time. So let's see what we got here. I got the center link repaired, cleaned up the first thread, ran a chase over it. Everything looks good. So that's all reinstalled here. Let's see, take a look. All right, so that's all reinstalled here. Back in, new castle nut. Got to put cotter pins in, but our steering's back. So I need to actually roll this. Part of why I'm wrapping this video up is I need to roll this out. I need to get my truck in here. I'm going to rebuild the whole front end on that. She's ready to go. She's due. That's my money maker. Got to get her out. So, all right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. Next couple videos released on this will probably be some of the old work that I did already previously over the winter. And then the next video I shoot on this will probably be putting the motor in. That's about where we're at. So, all right. Well, we'll get to that next time. I appreciate you watching and checking out the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.